Okay, hello everyone. Thank you very much for joining. I know it's late in the busy day and the sun's out and drinks are about to be served. So nice short session for you guys today talking about net zero cloud, not specifically the product, but how we as a Salesforce community are kind of perfectly positioned to enable a net zero future with all the skills and knowledge we already have. So I'm going to talk to you guys about three main things. That being, why is this topic so important? I know I've already talked to a couple of you in the room saying it's big, it's important, it's interesting. And then I'm also going to talk about what we can do as a Salesforce community to kind of help without having to upskill and become sustainability consultants or carbon specialists, right? So, and then really briefly just talk about how we do this and then any questions, right? Nice, short, sharp. I'll talk kind of fast, so please hold your questions. I'll make sure there's some time at the end. Cool. So why is it important right now, right? So there's two major factors, regulation and stakeholder sentiment, consumer sentiment, right? So starting with regulation, I was chatting to a few gentlemen up the front, but there's one big policy coming in at the start of next year called the CSRD, so the Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive. It's out of the EU, but it's a global policy. So what it means is any company with X amount of revenue, X amount of staff members, regardless of they're public or private, will have to do sustainability reporting at a level it's never been done before. So that's 82 metrics. Eventually we'll have to be to the same level of auditability standards as financial statements are today. And then the second one is sentiment from customers, from stakeholders. I've heard of various different definitions of this today, but your consumers care, employees care, investors care. So any of the numbers you look at, I know there's 73% of consumers up there, and these two are meant to be the other way around. It's flipped over somehow. But yeah, 70% of investors, 70% of consumers really care about this, and 91% of investors expecting ESG data, so environment, social, and governance data at an investor grade standard. Something we know we can do with Salesforce, but we haven't really done too much of. So what does that mean? It means we're moving from voluntary to mandatory disclosures. That is the single biggest change that's coming now that hasn't existed before. Sorry, my PowerPoint's just all over the place. It also means, I think some other people mentioned, this is one legislation. There's others around the world as well. So there's one, the SEC in the States, that's going to mandate Scope 3 emissions reporting. For people that don't know, Scope 3 is anything that is not a direct influence of you, basically your supply chain, which then tends to be about 80 to 90% of a business's emissions, the hardest thing to deal with. People have never been able to do it. Regulators, governments are starting to make it mandatory all of a sudden. So we need tech to kind of help us solve this problem, and that's where we can kind of come in and Salesforce comes in. Yeah, cool. And then from a stakeholder point, so the executive suite, some of our key stakeholders for us, they really care about sustainability these days. Everyone likes to talk about it. However, what we do notice is there's not a lot of action, and people are actually starting to get punished as well if they're not being able to prove the claims that they have. And that's kind of the title of the talk. There's an intention-action gap. A lot of people want to do stuff, but not many people are or know how to. And there's various reasons for that, right? So there's a bunch of common challenges that exist, but I'm going to kind of summarize it into two. One is a huge challenge around data collection. If you think about your supply chain and engaging various suppliers and collecting data, it might be easy for a small business because you might only have someone who provides your cleaning services, a security for a small office, your laptops. But if you think of some big companies, say Unilever, for example, or Coca-Cola, their supply chains are deep and essentially endless. So data collection is a huge problem. And then when you do figure out how to collect data, the accuracy and comprehensiveness of that data. It's basically summarizing all of those. Once you have those bits of information, then you can do a ton more. So communicate what you're doing, make decisions around what you can do better. And that's what comes next. And believe it or not, I truly believe Salesforce as a technology, Net Zero Cloud is the product that can really help catalyze this for businesses going forward. And it's kind of the age-old saying, but what gets measured gets managed, right? And it's true in almost any account, but especially in the ESG, especially in the carbon accounting, the net zero world, what gets measured does get managed. Unless you have a baseline, you have no idea where you're going. So there's a ton of companies, almost every company, I bet most companies you guys work for have goals around being net zero by X, carbon neutral by Y, but most companies are setting those goals without baseline data because every other company is doing it, they're trying to keep up. That's kind of setting yourself up for failure in the future. So that comes back to my original challenge around data collection, having comprehensive baseline. And so what gets measured gets managed. So a little bit of Salesforce. So this is from the Salesforce First Call deck, so I did not create this beautiful slide. But you'll see what Salesforce Net Zero Cloud is. And just like a CRM is our single source of truth for relationship management, Net Zero Cloud built on the Salesforce platform on core is basically a single source of truth for sustainability data. It does three things really well. Brings data into the system, calculates, does complicated calculations, and then spits out results that you can take actions from. A couple of cool things about this product are that it comes with 10 out-of-the-box CRM-A dashboards. So I don't know any other, I might be wrong, but I don't think any other Salesforce product comes with this level of analytics out of the box and as a part of licensing, not additional. So it's a pretty cool feature of the technology that they've provided. And then what it is, Net Zero Cloud, it is a carbon accounting and management tool, right? So early last year, Forrester did a report on about 20 odd tools, some that have been in the market for 20 years, some that are climate tech startups that started in 2019. And Salesforce was voted the #1 sustainability management solution out there after being 3 years on the market. Any ideas why? That's a part of it. Yeah, that's definitely a part of it. Any other guesses? No, all good. So the answer was kind of in my words. It was voted the #1 sustainability management solution, not a product, not a specific use case solver that Net Zero Cloud is, but it's a Salesforce platform that it's built on. And so I've talked about supply chains, I've talked about engagement. What Salesforce's suite of products and the platform allow us to do, and the skill sets we already have, is build supplier engagement tools, employee and customer engagement tools, insights and decisioning tools through Tableau over and above what you already have, data ingestion through products like MuleSoft, ISV partners like Arcadia, and then IoT devices as well if you want to start getting really complicated. So the answer is really the platform and the suite of tools. So Net Zero Cloud is awesome. But it's the stuff we've been doing for years and years and years already is where the real change and the real impact comes from. And we went out and did a bit of research to kind of validate that myself as well, instead of just reading a Forrester report. And these are some of the key things that were highlighted as what we expect out of a comprehensive solution. The ability to be accurate, auditable, scalable, versatile, flexible. If you look at these things in isolation of Net Zero Cloud, where does your head go? Salesforce. So it kind of naturally just lends itself to be the right solution for this big problem. And I know there's probably a few architects in the room, so I threw this in. I'm no architect, so forgive me if anything's not as beautiful and shiny on here, but I just wanted to quickly showcase what I mean by using the platform, right? So Net Zero Cloud is your carbon accounting solution. It does that really well. Everything in the Net Zero Cloud box is out of the box. There's nothing that is additional that I've tried to build or put out, so it's a very robust tool. Over and above that, you can use MuleSoft or anything else to bring information in. You can use Tableau to get insights, and then Experience Cloud as one option to do engagement. So now that I'm just getting the quick timer, there's three things that we can do to kind of upskill ourselves to help contribute to our companies, our clients, our customers. And that's for everyone, that's Trailhead. There's a ton of resource about every single module on the tool. every single background about it. For the partners in the room, there's Partner Learning Camp. There's a very comprehensive learning camp in there that you can actually go and learn to use the technology really quickly. And you can honestly just go on and get a trial org and play around. It comes with data. It's beautiful. The analytics make it look real flash. So it's fantastic. So that's kind of brings me to my conclusion around net zero now is something that is achievable, but it's achievable through our existing skill set. So I know it's an intimidating topic because of all the jargon and a lot of other things. But when you actually come to enabling these solutions, enabling these businesses to kind of go to have a net zero future and transition to net zero, we've got a ton of the tool sets, skill sets already to do it. That was a whirlwind tour. So any questions from anyone? I'm very happy. I know time's up, but I'm very happy to stick around and answer them. Cool. Thank you then, everyone.
Hi, I'm Anthony from Deselect. And what is Deselect as a platform? It is essentially a way to enable marketers that use the Salesforce Marketing Cloud to get more out of their data. Deselect serves both non-technical marketers, for instance those who do not know how to write SQL queries, as well as technical marketers who are very well versed in a platform but who are looking for ways to be more efficient or who just want to enable their less technical colleagues. Deselect is an official Salesforce Marketing Cloud partner that offers the leading marketing data enablement platform on AppExchange. Fortune 500 leaders and mid-sized businesses leverage Deselect's intuitive solutions to help marketing teams create more powerful segmented audiences, control marketing communication frequency, and achieve faster Marketing Cloud ROI without code or technical dependencies.